look at me, having some fun today.
And this is knitting.
I'm sorry it's taken me so long, but life has been really busy, and I mean busy. So first I had the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. I'm a volunteer there, and so my shifts, I had 5 rodeo shifts, or 5 shifts for the rodeo. I work on the Corral Club Committee. That's part of the ones that support all the bars for the event. And I really like it. It's a lot of fun. I'm happy to be on it and volunteering. Because of the volunteers, it saves the Livestock Show and Rodeo just a lot of money from having to pay people to staff it. So I'm happy to do it. You get some perks. You can get to all the concerts free, and a lot of other events, and so and free admission into the park all the time. So it's got and free parking, and that helps. But other than that, there wasn't much else to do with it that had to do with fiber. I do have a good friend of mine who is on the staff for the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, and she is a knitter, and she and I are both talking about pressuring them to bring the fiber element from the animals that they show into the show. And that's going to be kind of a common theme over these next couple of episodes. And so I wanted to kind of introduce that concept here, because a lot of the animals that they do show, alpaca, sheep, goat, all have fiber that can be used for yarn. So with that idea, we're going to try to push in the next coming years to have the livestock show at least have a portion of their show. They have a vendor hall with a lot of vendors. If they had just a portion of those vendors to fiber related to the animals that are showing, I think that would be huge. So we'll try to get that done. But every year, because I am a knitter, I do try to get at least one thing related to it. And I do have something new back here. You probably haven't noticed it yet, but it's my little alpaca. I got that this year, and I'll get it for you. He's right here. That was an empty spot anyway. I don't know what kind he is, but he's super soft. I mean, like, the alpaca is, that's the one thing about this fiber, it is so incredibly soft. There we go. So you can see his face. I would never do that to a real alpaca. But in the coming episodes, you're going to see some other alpaca mentions. So I thought it would be kind of cool. I didn't know that I would be talking to alpaca people prior when I bought this, but I just saw him and he thought, oh, I've got to have that. And then this kind of goes into a question that I got in an email, and somebody said, well, what's all that stuff behind you? Well, the funny thing is that of the things that are behind me, like this piece here, I got that from a vendor at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. They were vending there. They had a lot of other things like a Millennium Falcon and a whiskey still, and I got the whiskey still for our bar here at the house. And then I asked him, I said, do you do custom stuff? So I found this, and I've always had this affinity for older representations of men in knitting. And this one is from a patent by Mr. Engel back in 1936. And I sent him the file, and they made a custom, it's all fire burned into the wood, and then the paint is laid over it. And they did a great job. And so it's the patent for a circular needle. I love using circular needles, and to me that just was very fitting for my desk area, or the backdrop to this. And then this piece here is a tile. They do lots of tiles at this vendor, but they had a sheep finally, and it took like 3 years, because I've been volunteering there for 6 years, and I think it was year 3 or 4 of me constantly asking them, hey, do you have sheep? And they finally got a sheep, so that's a sheep. And then another, let's see, yep, I got that at the rodeo too. It's just a little painting on a block, but it's nice, just some sheep in a barn. And then this piece here, it didn't come from the rodeo, this came from my sister-in-law. Janelle, and she knew that I was doing this channel, and she got so inspired. She painted me a picture. I'm known as Knit Texan, as I've said before, and I have been for the last 15 years. But around the industry, and so I thought that was kind of neat that she got that for my backdrop. So of course I had to put it up. But the rodeo is kind of near and dear to me, being a Texan, and it's kind of near to me in that even though I'm working in a bar, I've taken my knitting up there. So if I'm working the emergency door exit, I'm knitting. They know it, and so I just always have it with me so that I can spend the time productively when I find that I have no time to spend. All right, so with that said, the other thing that I am super excited to share with y'all is that I told you last episode I was going to be going to the 2019 DFW, Dallas-Fort Worth Fiber Festival, and it happened. Everything snuck up on me, and I didn't realize the time, and so I tried to get an episode out before the event, but I couldn't. And this one is this is a special episode because I don't have necessarily someone in studio or out of studio that I interviewed. I interviewed a bunch of people. So it was really probably from the last time I was there 2 years ago, a lot more male vendors and a lot more guys at the show. I didn't really get to interview that many guys who attended the show. I'll talk a little bit more about that on the future episode, I think, coming up. But I really got to meet some great people, some wonderful men in this industry. A couple of other things that I did while I was there. Part of how I got access to all of this and more, which you'll see in coming episodes, was because I got a press pass while I was there. And so they were so nice as to give me a press pass that had my name, the channel, and then to let them know that I'm media. So that afforded me a lot of opportunities that I don't think I would have gotten had I just been a guy with a camera walking around. There was one other thing I got though, and I wasn't going to share it because it's kind of one of those, or I don't know, but what it's going to become is going to be amazing. This was a sock blank, and a sock blank is a piece of knitted fabric that is usually hand painted after they knit it up in a stockinette stitch, kind of like what we're doing in knitting clinic, and then they hand paint over that. And when you knit it up, it doesn't look like the thing that's hand painted. It just creates a different pattern. And I have a way of visualizing how the patterns are going to look once they're knitted up. And so I got this one to do just that. It's ladybugs and all these colors. Okay, I don't know if you can see it, but they're all the same. No, they're not all the same, but they repeat. And so I just know that as I undo this, you're going to get that little dot, then that dot. Then you're going to have nothing, then dot, dot. Then you come back, and then you'll have color, 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 color. And it's going to keep unraveling like this. And I want to make socks out of it. So the socks are going to be really fun because they'll have this background here with these colors. I can't wait to show you. This is the way to say, okay, this is what it looks like, but eventually it's going to be socks. And this was I bought it from Tumbleweed Yarn, so I'll put that here. Diana Story, she was just so great. The DFW Fiberfest did me a solid. I mean, really. They had a space that they couldn't rent because it was too small. And I just lightly inquired through a friend of mine at the show, who you'll meet later, that, maybe I could use that spot for interviews. And they were like, sure, go ahead. So I was able to use this spot that nobody else could use. And it got a lot of interest. People were really interested. I brought my lights from my studio here, and we set it up, and it was a really magical time. It was a lot of fun. And again, if it hadn't been for the people at the DFW Fiberfest allowing me to do that, I couldn't have generated the interest that I did. So thank you to them. And I'll end you with a little blooper set that I came up with. It was kind of fun. We didn't always have things go smoothly, and there was a lot of nervousness, but I think it was a lot of fun. And if you liked this episode, short and sweet, but if you liked it, be sure to like it and subscribe if you will, so you can see what's coming up soon, because I've got some really good big interviews that I'd like to share with you guys coming up. So be sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification so you can know when that interview goes live. So I want to thank you guys again, and I came up with a little saying that I want to say that was kind of apropos for this past weekend at the Fiber Festival. But friends, don't let friends knit drunk. All right, thanks. Bye, y'all.